Hello and welcome to another Spark Self-Leadership video interview. I'm absolutely delighted to be having a conversation with DK Bakshi, who is the Chief Mentor and CEO of Global Talent Company Limited. So welcome to Spark, DK.
Indeed, my pleasure to be with you on this show, Sally. And I am here ready with all the questions you have in mind. It will be my honor and my privilege to respond to.
Fantastic. So first, before we jump into me interviewing you about self-leadership, I know you've got a few nicknames. So tell me your nicknames and tell me a little bit about Global Talent Company Limited.
Yeah. Sally, my nicknames, people call me Mr. Motivator, Mr. Energy, Mr. Communicator. And that is what I have spread last more than 2 decades in the global world. Global Talent Company is my brainchild, what you see behind, and it is my passion. It is my personal passion, rather. I'm romancing with my destiny. And global talent is, you are global talent, I am global talent. Those people who are watching around the world are global talent. Each one of us is global talent in this world. And it's a company which is into 360-degree HR solutions, talent acquisition excellence, talent development excellence, HR OD excellence, manufacturing excellence, education excellence, and business excellence. We are spread from Bangkok, which is the headquarters, India and Canada. And then we do work in near about 15 to 16 countries in the world. Some of the signature programs are very famous. Roadmap to Success, DNA of Leadership, One Dream, One Team, Romancing with Your Destiny. These are my signature programs. Along with me, we have people from different local, regional, and global players. So they have been part of me, Americans, Australians, Canadians, Singaporeans, Malaysians, not only Indians. It's spread around the world.
Yes, I have to agree with you. I've been involved and connected with you for a little while now, and doing the Power Women Global was when you first initiated that project, to have a Zoom screen full of international fantastic faces from around the world. It was an honor and a privilege. So you do a million things. So I'm absolutely amazed you can squeeze in some time to have a conversation with me. So let's get into it. So DK, tell me, what is self-leadership to you?
Wow. It's a very important thing you talk about, not leadership, you're talking about self-leadership. Sally, I believe that self-leadership is a regular practice on influencing my knowledge, my thoughts, my feelings, and most importantly, turning these thoughts, knowledge, feelings into action on day-to-day basis with my mission of life. Because when you turn thoughts into things by action, then only it is possible. Otherwise, it's not possible at all. Because people always say thoughts become things only with action, action, and action. In case there are no actions, thoughts will remain thoughts, and it will never, ever become a thing. In fact, we all know that Peter Drucker said that being a self-leader is to serve as a chief or a captain or a CEO of your own life. I repeat, the chief, the captain, or the CEO of your own life. That is what impacts in life so far as self-leadership is concerned.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And I have to agree with you that if our feelings and our actions and our thoughts and words are not aligned, then how do we know that what we're doing is true to our purpose? And then the ripple effect is that people look at us and something's not quite right. Something's not lining up here. And it's very difficult to lead when you're giving out mixed messages with your thoughts, your actions, your behavior, your words, very messy. And I imagine also if you don't sit and take that moment to align your thoughts and your feelings, your words and your actions to your mission, it'd be quite draining and quite tiring.
Sure. Yeah. I fully agree with you. Because in case there's only thoughts and you're not acting, you're not taking steps forward, it's tiring because it will tire your mindset. The moment you start action, let's go, grow and glow. And the moment you do that, go, grow and glow, what happens? You start enjoying it. And when you start enjoying it, you start performing. And when you start performing, you start winning. When you may lose in between, doesn't matter. But then you may fall. It's like soccer. So when you are into the game plan, you may fall, but get up again.
Yes.
And go. Get up again and go. That is the beauty of life.
And when you're performing, what I'm hearing you say, and what I'm interpreting what you're saying, is that as you're performing, you may have some mistakes or some losers, but you don't go back to the zero. You just, you're constantly S-curving upwards. So I love that. Look, you work with a lot of leaders, and you and I both know that if you're a leader, you need to be able to influence others. You need to have a level of confidence and some courage in making the decisions and being an effective leader. So, confidence, influence, and courage are three core things I think every leader needs. Tell me, from your perspective, what impact does self-leadership have on those three things: confidence, influence, and courage?
Very great question indeed. You are talking about CIC of leadership: confidence, influence, courage as a leader. And in case a leader does not have the CIC, I don't think he is a leader. Let me respond to you one by one. First is confidence. Confidence is one of the most important ingredients of self-leadership. As those leaders who have confidence, they take risks to accomplish high-level goals which others do not even try. This kind of leadership with high risk-taking ability, and COVID days, more of it, beyond COVID days, more of it, and taking risk-taking ability with huge value to people who work with this kind of a leader. And leadership gets huge respect from the teams as well as the organization and the community wherever we are. When we go to the second part, which is the kind of leadership style, the leader which impacts its people and the teams rather influences them to develop their own self-confidence. I would say the leader is the one who can influence people to drive excellence to an unknown, unheard, unbelievable horizons of business nature. It results into high-performing teams. I call it one dream, one team, one dream, one team. High-performing teams passionately working with leaders to strengthen the leadership pipeline, a pipeline at various levels of the organization. Not that you are the only leader. You need to create not followers. You need to create a complete pipeline into the community, into the country, into the company, into the global world. Because leaders do not actually work for themselves. Leaders work for others.
Yes,
they
I love that.
develop others.
Yes.
So leaders have to have that kind of influence, not to only produce followers, rather convert these followers into leaders. With this, organizations, communities, countries can develop many leaders at various levels of business. And now let me come to the third part of CIC, which is very significant. And you talk about courage. And in COVID and beyond COVID now, courage of conviction is the best step to move forward direction. Look into the next orbit. Leaders who are courageous are the most wanted into the organizations or into the community. And they develop trust, transparency. They develop trust and transparency and ignite passion for excellence.
Yes.
With this trust and transparency, they convert it into togetherness. So I'm talking about 3 T's now. Trust, transparency, and togetherness. When 3 T's work together, it should become a way of life, leading to change the mindset, working on various unpopular, unknown, difficult decisions, and generating passion for performance. At the end of the day, leaders have to deliver performance. Leaders have to deliver numbers. Leaders have to deliver excellence. Leaders have to deliver which has not been delivered earlier. So the CIC should be one of an important aspects combined with 3T. And I again say another thing also, which I have been propagating last couple of months. Let's change the designation of CEOs. Let's change the designation of CEOs to CLOs, Chief Learning Officers. Leaders have to learn themselves.
Oh, I love that.
Leader learns himself, so he puts the entire organization into the learning frame. But if the leader thinks that I know everything, then the organization is dead. So learning starts from ladder.
Before you go on, I just want to jump in on that piece there, DK. Sorry to interrupt you, but I don't want to miss this. This Chief Learning Officer rather than Chief Executive Officer. And you said if the CEO or the leader thinks they know everything, I think that point is so important that self-leadership is about being a lifelong learner. And if we think we've gone as far as we can go, then that links into having a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. So I think you're picking up on something that's just so instrumental to how you show up in the world. So thank you for that. That's CLO.
And not only that, CLO and CPO, Chief Passionate Officer. You should be passionate. You should be mad. Because the passion, when it starts from the top, it goes to the entire organization.
Well, it infiltrates, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Chief Passion Officer, Chief Learning. It's not Chief Business Officer or CEO only. Chief Passion Officer, Chief Learning Officer. It has to be passion from the leadership.
Yeah, thank you. I love that. Look, I wanted to ask you something, and because we often find that the best learning comes from a little bit of adversity, or when something quite hasn't gone to plan. And not that we ever want the negative, but we both know that sometimes we have to get out of our comfort zone in order to learn and grow. So has there been something, and you don't have to share the story if you don't want to, but you can if you want to. Maybe there's a COVID story. But has there been a time or an incident where your self-leadership took a bit of a beating and you needed to reignite it again? One of the things I'm trying to really explore with a lot of senior leaders and smart people like you is, what are the lessons you learnt to reignite your self-leadership when something has gone wrong?
They rightly say when going gets tough, tough gets going. Am I right?
Yeah.
With that, I have 2 examples. One is an example when I left India 17 years back to work into the global world as an Indian, as this space. And I went to Asia Pacific, I went to US, I went to Europe especially. And I tell you, it was very tough for people to accept me. What will this Indian teach us? And I want to tell you, I gave them so much inputs. They used to say, when are you coming next? Because I worked hard on myself to give them something which they did not know about it. And it became lifelong learning for them. Second is, which is more important to talk about, is COVID days. One of the most toughest, difficult, and unprecedented situation of lifetime for all of us. The name itself is so shivering, it shivers us. Remember 1.5 years back, February 2020, when entire human race got caught into this everywhere around the world. It did not look at the prime minister. It did not look at the secretary. It did not look at the PM. It did not look at a factory workman. It looked at human being. It did not look at color. It did not look at religion. It did not look at age. And it did not look at nationality. So entire human race got affected around the world. You could see Prime Minister of England into getting COVID. You could see a PM. You could see a factory worker. You could see an executive officer. You can see a politician. Every one of us. That is where this story is more relevant. So my story is not different. I was zero on this social media before February 2020. Zero. I did not know what to do. And I want to tell you, I am a face-to-face man into action all the time in terms of my programs, which I run globally in 3 continents, rather 4 continents. I did not know how to even put the status on the WhatsApp. I was on the Facebook, but I was one-to-one comment, but never giving a public comment. I was on LinkedIn, but not using much. One of my girl here who works with me, you know her, Varsha, and she even threatened me she will remove me from the Facebook because I don't even comment to her on her dress she has put on the Facebook because I was not used to it. The real story gets changed immediately. And what did I do? I learned from this Varsha. She taught me to be effective on this social media. And world is watching me today. Sally around the world in 40 countries, 220 webinars around the world. Hashtag Women Power, a global movement. 1 million people on this platform by 2024 in 20 chapters around the world. You are one of the first members of Women Power from Australia into my first show when Dr. Kiran Bedi from India was there. Yeah. So what happened? A challenge, a difficult, a tough situation with one thought. That's why I say thoughts become things with action. With one thought, which was tough, which was not possible for me to do, immediately I could take control of it and I remained focused. I learned every day. And today I am on entire social media around the world. I could learn it, and no business school can teach you. No university can teach you. It is only that you need to have a will.
Yeah.
And that is the heart, that is the passion, that I need to break this tough situation. And I need to convert this difficult situation into an opportunity. Okay, I have not made any money. I did not get any dollar. I did not get any baht. I did not get any rupee. It's all free of cost. But then I decided that whatever, that time we did not know that the pandemic is going to be 1.5 years. We thought maybe 1 month, 2 months. But we decided we carry on. Today around the world, I have this hashtag Women Power, a global movement, 1 million women to be on this platform by 2024, 700,000 already covered. And I have another program which is going on, hashtag New DNA of Leadership. And I have people coming into the program from 20 odd countries, from US to UK to Canada to Europe to Africa to Middle East to Asia Pacific to Australia. You name a country, people have come. And I have just placed the posters of this few days back. You must have got the posters from me. So it has been a fascinating journey for me personally, learning from a young girl called Varsha. And I take it, I'm a keen learner. I take it forward so strongly. That's what it is. When going gets tough gets going. So what did I do? I challenged that. And I proved, and I am a keen. And I worked in COVID days, Sally, 14 to 15 hours without any reward and recognition.
Yeah.
Because there's no cash. But I got a lot of pat on the back. Today, people talk about me in the world, what he's doing. And in the process, I learned a lot.
Yes. And I want to jump in. You said you didn't get paid and you put in lots of hours. But I wonder, one of the ways that when I'm talking to a lot of leaders and listening, they did a very similar thing. You know, they put in the hours and it's almost like you're putting it into the bank account for future. So when the opportunity comes later, you've actually got that credit sitting there because you've actually shown up and you've pivoted, you've been challenged, and what I love is, because I do know who you're talking about, you gave her permission to challenge you.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really great thing too. Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, I wanted to just catch that piece about, we often put in a lot of hours and a lot of free work in certain situations, but particularly it was evident during, early COVID days. But the payoff will come.
And Sally, I want to add, the learning on both the programs have been enormous for me personally, because I have got shows with people from 30, 35 countries. And whatever they have spoken has added a lot of value to me. And I am going to put it into the digital book. It's all available on YouTube. But personally, I have gained a lot, if not in cash. I don't care. But at this point of time, I am more learnable because I have learned from people from all parts of the world. And they are not only HR, they are business leaders, manufacturing leaders, sports leaders, community leaders, army leaders, police leaders. They are from different walks of life, these leaders, both men and women. So for me, today, I am so honored and privileged. And through this show of yours, I would like to thank each one of them, from Australia to Middle East, to Asia Pacific, to Canada, Africa, and United Kingdom, to USA, for their great contribution.
I'll put a map of the world right here for you.
Great contribution to this human race. And we have saved businesses of some people. We have saved jobs of some people. We have saved people to commit suicide. We have done that because there were people in mess. We have motivated them to live. We have certainly given them an opportunity. Doesn't matter. These tough days will go. You've got to live. You've got to live. You've got to live. And it has been done.
I love that. Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is that, being open to being challenged, especially when things aren't going well, and being open to hearing the input from others that can help you shift and then, focus in a way that helps you to get your momentum going, get your motivation going, and therefore, start acting on something that comes back to the alignment of your feelings, your thoughts, so that your actions align with your purpose, which sounds like, Global Power Women, which began right in the thick of it all, was very much aligned to who you are and your ethos. So I think there's some great lessons in there that have come out of the COVID situation. Look, I just want to ask you, I just want to be respectful of time. So we've got time for one more question, DK, sure, if that's okay. And what is the one thing you wish you knew about self-leadership when you first stepped into a leadership role?
I would say it's a matter. It's not one thing. There are a couple of things. I call it ABCD formula of life. Always looking for a big picture as a leader. B, bold to take decisions together with people and team. C, cash on the strengths of team members. D, develop clear, concise, effective communication to team members, no hidden agenda as a leader. And E, empower and inspire team to work on the set mission. F, faith and trust on team members to drive the mission forward. And G, genuineness to the core. And I, involve everyone into the mission. J, joy of rewarding and recognizing. I mean, I can go on and on.
You can do the whole alphabet.
These are some of the steps which can make us very powerful and make things to be happening.
When did these become clear for you in your journey, your leadership journey?
Yeah, I would say when I became a general manager of human resources way back in 1997 in a company called Gillette Parker Luxor, it's an American company. That was the time I moved from a normal human resource job to developmental job. And that is where I started talking about nation building, global talent, and one human being, one love around the world, one human race. Yeah. And it has been tough for me. It has not been easy. It has, like this. But then I consistently, as a tough taskmaster, said I need to move on. And I traveled to near about 30, 35 countries around the world. My passport is so huge. And I believe the humility and the compassion and the learning of mine has been enormous. I learned with every person I met. I learned with every nationality I met. I learned with every woman, every man I met. I learned from everybody something. And what I am today is a package of learnability, because I always say, I am a student of management and leadership. And those people who believe in, and I always talk about my guru, Pritam Singh, he left us in COVID. He said, leaders who work for others do not die. Leaders who work for themselves are not leaders and they die. So I believe in that philosophy. Having said that, it's going to be, for me, before I leave the world, not so soon, maybe another 20, 25 years, I'm still young to work on. And I want to give this knowledge to the world. Irrespective of caste, creed, color, nationality, and religion. I don't care. The human race. Global talent.
I love that. I love that one thinking, and that you're so open and you're curious and you're inquisitive and you love learning. So thank you so much. I appreciate hearing your insights into self-leadership and so important that you've linked that with learning. So before we wrap up, do you have any final words you'd like to share?
Yeah. First of all, Sally, thank you very much for bringing me on your show.
My pleasure.
I am really honored and privileged. Knowing you, your background, and what you do, I certainly salute for your contribution to the human race against in Australia.
Oh, thank you.
And with you, when I started knowing you and we were supposed to be doing some work in United Nations, everything got fizzled out. But with your background, talent, core capabilities to deliver excellence to teachers, to business leaders, I am sure you will be part of my global talent, something to come soon. And in case this new one, which we are working, we work together and help some of the people for them also to go, grow, and glow.
I love it. Go, grow, and glow. I love that. Go, grow, and glow.
And you are real global. You are real global talent. You are global talent. I am global talent. We are all global talent.
We absolutely are. Thank you so much, DK. And I absolutely appreciate, and your enthusiasm just fires me up. So thank you so much. I just want to thank DK for being with us and sharing his insights onto self-leadership. I'm Sally Foley-Lewis, and that's been another episode of the Spark Self-Leadership series. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.